Last week, President Biden announced his plan to forgive $10,000 in federal student loan debt to most borrowers, while also extending the repayment freeze. Here to talk more about that is local financial professional Matt Stevenson from Allied Wealth. Good morning, Matt. How you doing? It's always good to talk with you.
Doing great, Owen. Thanks for having me again.
So, whether you're in favor of this or not in favor of this decision, it's happened. And for those who now maybe will see some of this student loan burden lifted off their plates, how to maximize this opportunity, Matt? That's what we wanted to ask you about.
Absolutely. So there are a lot of changes on the horizon, Owen. First off, for Americans with an annual income of $125,000 or less, you would have that $10,000 in federal student loans forgiven. In addition to that, though, there are many folks out there with a Pell Grant, and those are typically given to lower income students. They'll have $20,000 of debt canceled. Loan payments were set to resume for millions of borrowers after August 31st, but with this new plan, President Biden has extended the repayment freeze through December 31st. While that freeze is still in place, those in the repayment phase of their student loans are not required to make their regular payments, and their balance will not accrue interest during that time. Owen, it's estimated this plan is going to cancel approximately $321 billion in student loan debt, and that's a staggering number.
That is. So let me ask you this. Does this present an opportunity for folks? I mean, I know everything's more expensive, so maybe there's not a lot of savings. It's just shifting money from one part of the budget to the other. But presumably, this is going to change people's monthly cash flow.
It could. And, there's going to be a lot of potential changes on that front as well. Looking at what the education department is saying, they're going to tweak the maximum payment of 5% of a borrower's discretionary income. That's down from the current 10% maximum. So that applies to any borrowers using an income-driven repayment plan. But to lower those payments even more, the standards for what qualifies as discretionary income are going to change as well. So when we talk about discretionary income, that's what's left over after taxes and essential costs are paid, such as food, water, shelter, clothing, transportation. With that new income limit, those earning less than the $15 maximum or minimum wage are not going to be required to make that monthly payment towards their loans. As long as a borrower is making those monthly payments, their unpaid monthly interest will be waived. So it's also proposed that these student loan balances will be forgiven after 10 years rather than 20 years, so long as the borrower held $12,000 or less in those student loans and met their monthly payment requirements. So a lot more wiggle room, so to speak, in these repayment plans.
Interesting. So what I'm gathering from what you're saying is this is not just a one-time thing where you say, okay, these are changes that are going to stay with how these student loans are paid back in the future.
That's absolutely right, Owen. And with that being said, we need to make sure that we've got a strategy for how to pay off not only these student loan balances, but their remaining debt. President Biden has signaled that this will be the final extension. So that means that borrowers should prepare to resume those payments in the beginning of next year. So it's important to plan ahead. Make sure you don't fall behind when those repayments begin. There are a few things people can do here. So while the freeze is in place, if you're able, keep making those student loan payments. If you get in that habit now, you can prepare your budget so you won't be caught off guard when those payments resume. It's likely there's going to be some more changes between now and the end of the year, so make sure that your contact information is up to date with your loan servicer so they can update you more as information comes out. But as always, when paying off debt, you have to have a plan in place to tackle it efficiently. That's exactly what we do with our clients at Allied Wealth. We've done a lot of work through the Dave Ramsey program over the years. Dave is one of the premier sources on creating a plan to pay off those debts and build your savings. We always recommend saving at least 15% of your household income into retirement when you're able to. Consider taking advantage of your company match if you've got one through your 401k. If you're able to save more than that, consider some other tools like a Roth, other vehicles that allow you to build tax-free income in retirement. And for a lot of our clients that are nearing or in retirement, it's important to understand the effects this bill will have. That $321 billion, Owen, that's potentially going to be a future tax hike at some point. And so when we need to lean on these dollars the most in retirement is when Uncle Sam may prove to be too much of a partner in that retirement plan. So planning now to make your nest egg as tax efficient as possible is essential.
Yeah, we do kind of get that feeling from times. It's like, hey, we're going to pay now or pay later. They're going to make us pay one way or another. Hey, Matt, before you go, one thing I find interesting, it's like every time we go through a crisis like this, we learn something. You know, we went through a housing crisis that it's like, okay, stop with the adjustable rate mortgages. And we come through this and it's like, is it time for some of us to say, well, maybe we don't all need college or that much of it until we're ready or until we know what we're studying? Or what do you think we've learned through this?
Yeah, and there's always going to be changes on the horizon, Owen, but it's always important to have your plan in place, understand what you're getting into ahead of time. Using a loan calculator can prove useful there to understand what that loan might look like, whether it's a mortgage, whether it's student loans, such as what we're talking about, and understand what a repayment plan would look like before you get into it so you're properly prepared.
That's right. Matt Stevenson, always appreciate your words of wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Owen.
Matt